So our second part of our workshop is going to be, so first part was kind of the introduction having to do with evangelization. And I mentioned a number of times that prayer is very essential because this is how we ourselves encounter Jesus. And we also want to, become more confident in our own prayer so that we know how can I assist others also to begin to pray. It might be that I know this is what works for me, but I never really actually heard anybody talk about praying exactly this way, so I'm not really sure if I should tell other people that they should pray this way because it's, maybe it works for me, but is it going to work for everybody? And so hopefully there's elements within this that, resonate with the way our prayer already goes, but this can help be more intentional as to yes, that is a habit that I want to continue to foster within my prayer. Or maybe I never really thought about doing. I do that sometimes, but I don't always do that. These are habits of relational prayer, in the sense that it's not anyone. It can be applied to any kind of method of praying. Whether I mentioned earlier, we're praying with scriptures, or we're praying the rosary, or we're doing adoration, or whatever, or we're praying in community, or we're praying alone. These are methods that can be different habits that can be applied through them. They're not necessarily always have to be done specifically in the order that they are given either. But the more we become accustomed to doing them, they just become more naturally, and you probably won't even think about the names of the specific habits at that point. So the 4 essential habits of relational prayer are acknowledge, relate, receive, and respond. So this is a moniker that is produced from the Institute for Priestly Formation, or IPF. It's a summer spirituality program that they have done in Omaha, at Creighton, especially for formation for seminarians from all across the country. So I was able to go through that program when I becoming a priest. And prior to that, I had this idea that I think I know what prayer means. And then after going through that formation program, I'm like, wow, there's so much more here. It just opens up new vistas of what our relationship can be like. And this is, as you continue to read through the saints, you begin to, I was like, wow, there's a richness here of their relationship with the Lord that I want. And so regardless of where we are in prayer, whether we think or whether we feel we're a complete expert or we feel like that we're a beginner in prayer, we can throughout our life continue to grow more deeply in it. So there's no assumption on my part as to precisely where you are. So as to whether you're better or worse or however you feel that you might be. Some days we might be in different spots too, with regard to our prayer. So ARRR, acknowledge, relate, receive, and respond. So we're going to, during this part today, is really go through and really get into a deeper understanding of what these different parts are. One of the handouts will kind of list them. So this handout right here, the 4 essential habits of relational prayer, gives kind of the definitions. So acknowledge, noticing what's going on within us. So what are the interior movements within us? So these can be thoughts that come to our mind. These can be the emotional life, so the feelings that we are going through. They can be the wants, the desires that are going on within us. So the first part in prayer is just simply to notice what's going on within us. The second part is going to be relate, and that is going to be where now suddenly this becomes not just about me thinking about what's going on within, but now I'm going to talk to God to tell Jesus about it. So just most simply put is just tell Jesus everything, right? So we'll go more into that. Then the next habit within prayer is then to receive. This could potentially be both the easiest and the hardest part of prayer, because it is something that we don't do. It's something the Lord does. We have to wait upon Him to receive what He is going to give to us. And then the 4th habit is to respond based upon what we receive from God. Then that will lead us to a response. So we'll go more details into that, but that's just kind of the outline of these habits first off.